Good morning to your Friday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm back. Did you miss me? So today we have a card from the Wisdom for Healing deck. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. Here with some words to get us rolling today. And had a lovely little vacation. It took me a half a day to unwind, and then I had a day to just be, and then it was time to pack up and head back. But really was very peaceful and quiet. The place was just lovely. If you do Airbnbs, check out Cedar Grove, Wisconsin, and it's a little tiny house. She calls it the camp, and it was just a lovely little place. No running water, but she's got everything arranged to accommodate around that, and there is electricity, so that's all good. But a lovely little place. So anyway, Wisdom for Healing deck by Caroline Meese. And our card for today, this is an interesting card. My first day back, I'm like, I wonder what I'm meant to receive from this card. And that's what I'd like you all to do with these cards when they come up, is ask. Good morning, Anne. Glad you are here. Welcome. Pretty quilt in your little circle there. I can't see much of it, but it looks very bright, very pretty. What I'd like you to do each time that we pull a card is ask yourself, how is this relevant to me? How does this fit for me? What am I meant to be getting out of this card? Good morning, Mary. Welcome. Glad you are here this fine Friday morning. So, to that end, let's take a peek at our card. It is Relinquish Control. Thank you for the coffee, Mary. Relinquish control, and it shows one person being like a puppeteer for another person. So let's take a couple of nice deep breaths, opening ourselves to receive our answer about this card. Just breathing, opening up, ready to receive, receptive. All right, so here it is. Today's lesson: identify one person you feel the need to control. So I'm going to give you a minute here. Just think about, who do you tend to want to dictate their actions, overthink what they're doing and what they ought to be doing and what they should be doing and all of that stuff? Who's one person that kind of falls into that category for you? Might be a spouse, might be a partner, might be someone you work with, might be one of your kids, someone where you feel the need to kind of control what they're doing, all right? Think about why that power feels so essential to you. And oftentimes the answer that people will give me when we're working on this in a coaching session is because they're making bad choices. I can see the train wreck that's coming, and I'm trying to prevent them from going down this path that's not good for them. Or if it's a coworker, sometimes it might be that one, but it might also be what they're doing drives me nuts. So I want them to change their behavior basically so that it's easier for me, kind of a deal. So those are two reasons people tend to want to control. Sometimes it may be the other person is kind of, in your perceptions, a loose cannon. And so you kind of try to manage the environment as a way to prevent the loose cannon from going off. So, figure out why that control feels so important to you. What's your, yeah, but I need to do this because kind of a comment. Once you know that, then you can go from there more easily. I won't say easily, but more easily, okay? Next question is, what do you fear will happen if your hold on them is released? If you stop trying to micromanage that whole situation, what do you fear will happen? What's the train wreck you've been trying to prevent? Okay? And it says your goal to recognize how much stress is generated in your body through the need to control someone else. You're constantly on guard, you're hypervigilant, you're micromanaging, and that is exhausting. It's also very irritating and upsetting to the other person, but it's exhausting for you. What if you believed that spirit had the right ideas in mind? that this person, through their own free will, can make whatever choices they're going to make, seemingly poor choices in your eyes, yes, but that they can make whatever choices they're going to make, and that perhaps Spirit has laid out their path such that something very useful is going to come out of those poor choices. Perhaps. One of the things I like to think about, good morning Beth, glad you are here, is who died and made me God? When I assume I know what's best for someone else, am I not trying to play God? It's not my job, it's not my role. What if them going through whatever mess they're going to create by making what we consider to be the wrong choice, what if that actually opens up their whole life? So I'm going to give you a for instance. Someone I know has a son who's in prison. Trying to prevent him from going there was pointless. His choices dictated that he was going to create that outcome for himself. Good morning, Morgan. Good morning, Zoe. Glad you're here. In the process of him going, he's learned a whole lot of stuff. Now, will all that stuff serve him in the way that we wish it would serve him? Maybe, maybe not. But again, who are we to be playing God, thinking we can dictate how someone else's path is going to go, right? We need to let that go. So, what's a better thing to do? Because oftentimes we have to do something in order to feel okay. What if, rub your hands together, send out some energy to them. Send some energy their way. Kind, loving energy. I bless you on your path. I bless you on your path. Your path looks like a shit show to me, but I bless you on your path. If that is what you are meant to walk, and think about it, if that is what they are meant to walk, us wanting to interfere isn't going to work anyway, is it? All that's going to do is cost us precious energy and maybe cost us the relationship with that person, right? So what if we let that go? What if we put that in our God jar? What if we fill out a little slip of paper, John's path, in Angie's path, whatever, and fold it up and stuff it in the God jar? Let it go. Let it go. They are walking their path in their way. Now, it gets a little dicey when their path influences your path. But I'm also going to suggest that we often vastly overrate how someone's path is going to interfere with our path. I'll give you for instance. If someone's living with me and they're dealing drugs, that's going to have a direct influence on me. My choices are to have them leave my house. That would be a choice I would make. But if what they're doing really doesn't impact me, if I'm making assumptions about the impact on me. So let's say it's a coworker and we're working on a project together and I get my part done. Good morning, Carrie. Glad you are here. And they're not doing their part. I can assume this is going to influence me and influence me negatively, or I can decide to go talk to my supervisor and say, look, here's the skinny. How do you want me to handle this? I want you to leave it alone. I want them to fall on their face. I want the project to not get done so that there's some, but you be vocal about turning in your part of the project. You're done. That's good. Let it go. All right? Sometimes it doesn't hurt to seek the advice of someone who influences that situation. But it may not be our job to make someone else do something. All right? If a higher up were to ask me, I want you to get him to do his part of the job, I don't have the power to do that. I'm sorry. I can take his part of the job and do it myself, but I want credit for it. Or I can let it sit there and it's not going to get done and you can decide how you'd like to deal with that down the road, but I can't make someone else do something they're choosing not to do. Be direct, be honest, be whatever, and then let it go. Let it go. That might also be your cue. It's time for me to look for something else. This just isn't working. It might also be a time for you to say, we're in the middle of this project. I see how this is going. I'd like to request not doing projects with so-and-so again. Does that always unfold nicely and neatly? No. Sometimes it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But I'm going to suggest to you that somewhere in that mess, there are lessons for you to learn. And again, as we started this card today, good morning, Cheryl, glad you are here. As we started this card today, I had you take a couple of deep breaths and ask you to open up to receive. That's your piece of any of these puzzles, any of these times in your life that feel like a hot mess, that you don't know what to do, etc. That's the time to ask, okay, I'm letting this go, I'm opening up, what do you want me to know? What would you like me to do? What path would you like me to take? What's in the highest and best good for all involved? Kind of a deal. Okay, so let's look at our card again. Relinquish control. I love that image because it really does show how our trying to control is often perceived. We're manipulating. We're making someone else, we're the puppeteer, all right? So rather than doing that, turning it over to Spirit. Okay, I don't have control over so-and-so and what they're choosing to do about X. I'm handing it over. It's not mine to deal with. All right? I'll be done in a minute.
I'm going down
Okay,
there.
all right.
And Vicky's coming here.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. So anyway, let's run through these questions again because I think these questions are so powerful. All right? Identify one person you feel the need to control. Who rises to the surface? Who pops to mind? Identify one person you feel the need to control. And think about why that control is so powerful to you. Why does that feel so important? Well, I'm trying to prevent a disaster. I'm trying to teach him something. I'm trying to not have my life get messed up. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. What do you fear will happen if you let go of control? What do you fear will happen if you let go of that perception of control? I'm not going to say control because really we don't have control over anybody. Unless we're sitting on them, we don't have much control, right? It's an illusion anyway. It's a manipulation. You do this and I'm going to do that. And that's how we try to manipulate somebody, right? Recognize how much stress is generated in your body through the need to control someone else. How much stress do you feel? Good morning, Susie. Glad you're here. We're just about done, but the replay will be up in a minute or two. So recognize how much stress is generated in your body by trying to control someone else. All right? And I know it feels scary to think about letting go of control. I know that. Okay? So you just saw my father peek his head in here. He's almost 88 years old. Do you know what he did yesterday? From way early in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, he was mowing a lawn, picking up the grass clippings, etc., etc. He did not get home until 1:30. You know how many hours that is? He drank some water, and he had 2 cupcakes for lunch. And again, I'm like, where's the protein? Where's the taking a break? Why are you doing this in the first place? All that control stuff. Let it go. I had to let it go. I had to breathe my way through it. This is not mine to fix. This is not mine to fix. If this is what he chooses to do at almost 88 years old, it is his choice. And it actually was a better choice than what he was going to do prior to that, which was climb on a ladder, climb on the roof, and paint window frames. So that one I actually looked over my glasses at him about, and he decided not to do that one. So I was really glad about that. But the other one, the lawn mowing, I had to put that in the God jar. If that meant that he was going to land in the emergency room and I was going to have to go pick his sorry butt up, I guess that's what that meant. Sometimes we can't control things. We don't have the capacity to influence more than we can influence. So, again, I feel gratitude that I was able to influence the don't climb on the roof scenario, But I had to let go of the I didn't have influence over how long he was going to be out in the 80 plus degree weather picking up grass clippings from a lawn. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Do we then feel bad if something plays out negatively? My vote is we can voice our concern. And if we voiced our concern and someone makes a choice that turns out poorly anyway, we don't need to feel bad. They're going to walk through whatever process they're going to walk through with that. It's like toward end of life when people have to try to decide, do I take away mom's car keys? Do I hire in-home help? What do I do here? It is what it is. You make the best decisions you can make at the time, and then you let it go. And then you let it go. All right? So again, together, if you want to put in the feed what you're going to let go of, what you're going to no longer micromanage, that'd be awesome. If you want to send me a private message just so someone knows what you're going to practice letting go of, I'd be happy to receive it. But let's work on this together, because I think our lives and the lives of those we try to control will go a whole lot more smoothly and be a whole lot happier when we let that go. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, including turning control over to God. Bye-bye.